What's good, y'all? What's the numbers TV? It's your boy Paul Rowe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and like a video if you appreciate the content that Paul Rowe What's the Numbers I provided. Today we back with another profile piece. This one is on Blade, Icewood, and Wipeout. In this video we're going to take a look at Blade's time growing up on the west side of Detroit before moving to Southfield. Then we will speak about his legendary contributions to the rap scene in his city as part of the Street Lords, who according to him were the original Cheddar Boys. After that, we will focus on Wipeout a bit and talk about his story coming up on the east side of Detroit and eventually becoming a well-known street figure in the city, before finally breaking down the beef that Blade, Icewood, and the Street Lords had with Wipeout on the east side Cheddar Boys, which the outcome was both of them eventually losing their lives. Darnell Quincy Lindsay, better known as Blade Icewood, is from the west side of Detroit. He was raised in the area of 7 Mile Road in Evergreen before moving to 10 Mile in the Detroit suburb of Southfield and graduating from Southfield High. His father was Charles Tracy Chuck Lindsay, a Young Boys Incorporated co-founder and crew leader, Wonderful Wayne's business partner. Coming from that cloth, it was no surprise when Blade would start to gain his own respect and clout in the city of Detroit. Rapping since high school, he debuted as a rapper in 1998-99 with the Street Lords on their album Platinum Rollies Don't Tick Tock. He also was looked at and respected as a hustler who was about his money and enjoying the finer things in life. Now Wipeout, real name Antonio Cadell Jr., grew up on the east side of Detroit around Jefferson and Connor and became a pretty successful hustler in his neighborhood. Eventually, he would use some of his money to get into the music industry, where he would end up having some local success with a group he was managing called the East Side Cheddar Boys. Now the beef that everybody talks about between the Street Lords and the East Side Cheddar Boys stems from each side's use of the Cheddar Boys name. The Street Lords felt like they were the original Cheddar Boys and stated numerous times that it started on the west side of the city, even though they eventually named their crew the Street Lords. As for Wipeout and the East Side Cheddar Boys, they actually made it their name, and when they started to see some success, the two crews from opposite sides of the city started to bump heads in the streets and on wax. Blade would drop a song called Boy Would You, which created the famous Blade dance that you can still see being done today by various football players after a sack or a touchdown. The song would be a local hit and grow into a cult classic in Detroit. The East Side Cheddar Boys wouldn't miss their opportunity to respond on the same beat, as they went on to remix the song and release it as a diss record called Boss Up and Take They Money. The rap beef between the Street Lords and the East Side Cheddar Boys that started over a name was reaching a boiling point, and sooner than later, it would spill into the streets in a major way. Little altercations between the crew were happening around the city, but no one expected what happened next, when on September 18, 2004, East Side Cheddar Boys leader, Wipeout, and an innocent bystander was shot to death outside a nightclub in downtown Detroit. The story at the scene was that Wipeout was standing in front of the Candy Bar nightclub when a bystander recognized Wipeout and went to greet him. As they were talking, two men approached and opened fire. Wipeout died instantly of multiple gunshot wounds. The bystander, apparently in the wrong place at the wrong time, also died hours later from his injuries. The streets of Detroit were on fire, as many people in the city had love and respect for Wipeout, who was a well-respected street figure, a record exec, and sometimes rapper. Certain people associated with Wipeout wanted revenge and felt they knew who was responsible for killing him because of his ongoing tension with the Street Lords. 2 days later, Blade Icewood was in his apartment in Oak Park when it was invaded by AK-47 wielding gunmen. The rapper was shot 7 times, and although surviving the attack, was left permanently paralyzed. True to the code of the streets, however, Blade refused to cooperate with authorities, who attributed his assassination attempt as retaliation for Wipeout's death. Blade would be in the intensive care unit for a while, but eventually recovered enough to be released from the hospital. Although in a wheelchair, he would hit the studio and start to record a new album. He released a song called Ride On Me, where he raps about the attempt on his life while dissing his enemies as if he knew exactly who it was that shot him. Blade's fans were anxious to hear what he had to say on his new album. It was highly anticipated, and he would start to pop up around the city as the release date was getting closer and closer. On April 19, 2005, Blade would visit a car wash on the West 7 Mile Road in Fourth Street, on the west side of Detroit. While there, sitting in his Range Rover, a gunman pulled up alongside him and fired 17 rounds into the passenger side, killing the 28-year-old Blade Icewood. The back-to-back killings of Wipeout and Blade shook the city to its core, as many people took the deaths hard. The local music scene in Detroit, once flourishing, would take a while to recover, as the murders were going soft for a while. But eventually, a man by the name of Larry Davidson will be picked up and charged with killing Blade. He was convicted for the crime and sentenced to life in prison. From what I've seen online, no one was ever caught for killing Wipeout, but I'm not 100% about that. But yo, it's What's the Numbers TV. It's a quick profile piece on Blade Icewood, real name Darnell Quincy Lindsay, and Wipeout, real name Antonio Cadell Jr. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say them two was cousins actually, so the beef should have never even got that far, and like they had spoken, said it was gonna stay on wax and things like that. But as it got further and further, you know, things got real in the streets. Now, you know, a lot of people talk about Blade, he's a legend and all that, but you know, Wipeout had a lot of some good things going for him. The Eastside Cheddar Boys music was actually getting better received, which why some people say was the reason why the beef started, because once the Eastside Cheddar Boys came out with the local song that they had that hit the radio and all that, the street laws started to feel away and this, that, and the third, and that's how the whole beef over the name started. And then Blade did the interview when he talked about it, you know what I'm saying? So we don't know exactly, because unless you was in one of those camps at the time, but you know, some things, that's normal stuff that's happens in this music industry. Been happening from back then, still happens to today. But you know, rest in peace to both of them for sure. Now, this record that a lot of people talk about, one of the, you know, some people say one of the best diss records out there. Blade recorded while he was in a wheelchair and all that, supposedly paralyzed already, and it go crazy, you know what I'm saying? And 2 days after that, 3 days after that, supposedly when he got killed, when he got shot again, they say after he released that. So I don't know exactly the timetable exactly. I wasn't there, but I'm just giving y'all the rundown of things that I was able to put together on the Blade, Icewood, and the Wipeout story. Now, you know, Detroit always had a bunch of good rappers, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, you got 42 Dugg out there, T Grizzly, Payroll, Icewood Vizzo, Cash Jaw, the list goes on. You know what I'm saying? So back then, they probably wasn't getting looked at as much, but even till today, Detroit always had good rappers. They always had rappers, you know what I'm saying? That's never been doubted about the city of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the D. And you already know, also, I got some new content up there. You might have seen it, you might have not. Go check it out. It's not the finished product. We still working on the editing. We still working on the filming, but go check it out. Go follow the Instagram, the members only. And also, I got a promo, being that the new content is dropping. If you want some promo on that one's cheaper for the time being. So if you want to get it now, you can get it now, and you can carry it on for months if you get it right now. So hit me on the Instagram or email me. We figure some things out. Also, one last thing before I go. I need y'all who not subscribed to the channel. Y'all keep finding yourself coming back, watching our videos. Try to subscribe to the channel. We have 48,000 almost, so I haven't really been pushing to subscribe because when I started this channel, never even envisioned it getting this big. So now that we're doing other things on the channel, we're trying to make sure you guys subscribe, get us over 50K. For 50K, we're trying to go to 100K. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody who is already subscribed, who watches videos. Also, if you feel like we're doing other things, we're not going to forget about the profile pieces. We know we got this channel started, so we will never stop doing the profile pieces. We're just trying to bring other things to the channel. So like I said, if you subscribe to What's the Numbers TV, if you mess with the content, we appreciate y'all. We'll be back before you know it. We out of here. Peace.